In Dark Souls 3, there are plenty of ways to miss various questlines, NPC interactions, and items in the game. In this guided walkthrough series, we'll be hitting upon all the NPC interactions and quests and doing our best not to miss anything important, such as major bosses. In other words, we will be doing just about everything that is encompassed in a satisfying playthrough of Dark Souls 3. As usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. You can start with whichever class you would like, but for this playthrough I will be starting with the Knight class. The armor is relatively heavy and will get us through most of the game. In addition, we will be picking up the Claymore to use early on, and that weapon will also be enough to take us through the entire game. For the Burial gift, I went with the Life Ring as it will give us a little more health. We begin in the Cemetery of Ash, and our first destination is also the first major boss of the game. Feel free to read the messages on the ground for basic instructions on how to play the game. You can also explore this area more thoroughly, but for the purposes of this guide, I will just be taking the most efficient path to our destination. We will also want to make sure we pick up the Ashen Estus Flask along the way. Unfortunately, there is no compass to reference in this game, so I will be relying more heavily on relative directions. Shortly after reaching a ridge overlooking a mountain range, we will move left up a hill to reach our first bonfire, which is the Dark Souls 3 equivalent to Elden Ring's Site of Grace. We can then run down the hill beyond it to reach the first boss room. Removing the sword from the kneeling man in plate armor will start the fight. Also, you can switch to holding your sword with two hands by clicking the Y button on Xbox, triangle button on PlayStation, or the F key on keyboard. You can pause now if you want to avoid spoilers. For everyone else, I will say that Iudex Gundyr is a tad difficult. However, staying close and circling Gundyr in a counterclockwise direction will allow us to avoid most of his attacks. Phase 2 makes things a tad more difficult, but as long as we prioritize dodging, it should be manageable enough. Defeating Gundyr will get us the Coiled sword, which we will use momentarily. After lighting the nearby bonfire, we can continue on through the large double doors. We will want to prioritize getting to the Firelink Shrine next, which is the central hub of Dark Souls 3. All that's needed is to follow the cobblestone path beyond the double doors. We don't want to attack anyone in Firelink Shrine as they are all friendly NPCs with important roles. As a general rule, we want to be very careful and never attack non-hostile or friendly NPCs. Also, be mindful of enemies that are following you when approaching a friendly NPC. We will start by embedding the Coiled sword into the central bonfire pit. We can then sit down at it to get the rest gesture. There are a few more things we need to do at Firelink Shrine before leaving. To start, we can speak with the Firekeeper to spend our souls and level up, and this is the only way that we can level up in Dark Souls 3. I would normally prioritize Vigor as the first stat to raise as it will give us more health. However, we need 13 dexterity to use the Claymore, and 16 strength to use it one-handed. So I will be putting levels towards those two stats first and foremost. We can also talk to the Firekeeper for context and lore, but it isn't necessary. Next up, we can find Hawkwood on the other side of the bonfire. Speaking with him will get us the collapse gesture. Down the central hall from the bonfire is the Shrine Handmaid. She is the primary merchant of Firelink Shrine. We can buy basic equipment from her, and I'll be getting the torch to help light up our surroundings during walkthroughs. Talking with her will also get us an explanation on how to expand our shop inventory through ashes, and we will be getting all of these ashes throughout this walkthrough. At the end of the hall is Blacksmith Andre. Selecting the talk option a few times will get us the Hurrah gesture. We can also click that option multiple times over to get explanations on his various functions as Blacksmith of the Shrine. While here, we may as well allot our Estus flasks so that they are all red. This will allow us to heal one more time between bonfires. Now, if you are going the spellcasting route, you may want to keep one or more flasks allotted as blue or ashen. This next part isn't 100% necessary to do now, but it will get us a summonable ally for the next major boss fight if we do it. To that end, let's go back to the central room of the shrine and exit the way we first entered through. Following the path up to the right will bring us to a hostile NPC, the Swordmaster. He can deal serious damage, but his attack patterns are also fairly easy to exploit. All we need to do is bait him into an attack while we back up and avoid it. We can then get in 2 quick strikes before rolling back out of range. All that is left is to rinse and repeat until victory is achieved. The Swordmaster will drop his Uchigatana and Master's Attire when defeated. This will also give us enough souls to level up 1 or 2 more times at the Firekeeper. I recommend putting 1 point into Endurance, as it will give us just enough stamina to perform 4 light attacks in a row with the Claymore. To proceed, we can sit at the Firelink Shrine bonfire and travel to the High Wall of Lothric. Just beyond the set of double doors is the first bonfire for this location. Next up, we are going to get the Claymore as well as our first chest mimic. We will begin by moving down the stairs to the left of the bonfire. After entering the first tower, we will drop through a grate to the floor below. After exiting from that bottom floor, we will need to run up the staircase along the left wall. A dragon will start blanketing this area with fire as we turn around and move towards the back right corner to grab the Claymore. If you just spam dodge rolls, there is a decent chance that you will evade the initial burst of damage. The residual fire will also deal small amounts of damage over time, but it is survivable. Once we have the Claymore, we will then turn back and roll our way to the iron barred door beneath the dragon. As a quick warning, do not open the chest in this tower. It is a mimic and will eat you if you do. If you are following the build in this walkthrough, you can equip the Claymore and wield it with 2 hands before moving on. You may have to unequip your shield if you want to stay below 70% equip load, and going above 70% equip load will cause you to start heavy rolling. Approaching the chest mimic in this area, we can start with a charged heavy attack for some nice damage, and get in a few light attacks before dodging back. The tall mimics are easier to fight if you go under their legs and try to stay behind them. Just watch out for their telegraphed grab attacks, as those will be almost guaranteed death at our current amount of health. Each chest mimic has a chance to drop a symbol of Avarice when defeated. This head armor increases souls gained from defeated enemies by 50%, and it also adds 100 item discovery. However, it is very heavy and causes 10 HP damage every second that it's equipped. Because of this, we will only want to equip it at critical moments, such as just after defeating a boss or while farming enemies for rare drops. In addition to that, each chest mimic will also have a guaranteed item drop. For this one, it is the Deep Battle Axe. As a general rule, you should always attack a chest before opening it, just to make sure that it's not a mimic. In any case, we will next climb up the nearby ladder and exit through the iron barred door. We can dodge past the knight into the next tower, then go through the door to the right and up the stairs to reach the tower on the wall bonfire. Now is a good time to go back to Firelink Shrine and level up at the Firekeeper. Moving on, we will start at the tower on the wall bonfire and move down into the tower. We can drop down 1 level and then move out the nearby opening. After dropping down the first ladder, we'll move forward to find a second ladder. At the bottom of that is the entrance to a building. We will run through it past the knight with a spear and tower shield. We will then briefly go outside and down a staircase before returning to the building's interior. Make sure to grab the Estus shard sitting on the anvil altar, then move across the room and down a dead-end staircase to grab the cell key. Running out the exit near the anvil altar, we can roll through some boxes and drop down to the courtyard below. From there, we will move in a straight path with the fountain on our right side and go through the archway in that direction. Turning right after exiting the courtyard, we can run up a staircase and follow this path to reach a lift. At the top, we'll open up a shortcut that leads back to the first bonfire of the High Wall of Lothric. To reach the bonfire, we'll go up the staircase, turn sharp right, and go up 1 more staircase. We can make a quick return trip to Firelink Shrine at this point. With the Estus shard, we can speak with Blacksmith Andre and reinforce Estus Flask. This will consume the Estus shard and add a single charge to our Estus Flask. Also, if you've picked up at least 2 Titanite shards, you can upgrade a weapon of your choice to +1. Next up, we will recruit another NPC, Greirat, to Firelink Shrine. Starting at the tower on the wall bonfire, we will move down into the tower and drop down 2 floors. We can then move through the door past the halberd-wielding soldier. We will want to make sure that we've dealt with any enemies that follow us to the end of this path, then open the jail cell with the cell key. We will then need to speak with Greirat and grant request to recruit him to Firelink Shrine. This will also get us the blue Tearstone ring, which we can equip if we want. Greirat can be found to the left of Blacksmith Andre in Firelink Shrine. He offers up a plethora of stolen goods, which we will expand throughout the course of the game. Also, if we go up the stairs near where Hawkwood normally sits, we will find a new NPC by the name of Leonhard. Speaking through his dialogue will get us 5 cracked red eye orbs. You may notice another NPC by the name of Ludolith sitting on one of the thrones, but we cannot do anything useful with him until we get to the end of the Undead Settlement area. Next up, we will go to the High Wall of Lothric and proceed down the shortcut path that we opened up earlier. After descending down the staircase at the end of the shortcut, we can turn right and go down a couple of short drops to bypass a few night enemies. At the bottom of the large staircase is the chamber of our next major boss fight. If we defeated the Swordmaster outside of Firelink Shrine, we can interact with his sign here, which will summon him as an ally for the boss fight. Keep in mind that you need to be embered to see NPC signs on the ground. This is indicated by the glowing symbol to the left of the health bar. Your ember is restored after defeating a major boss or by using an ember, which is a consumable item. The effect lasts until you die. Running to the far side of this chamber will start the boss fight. Also, if you have it, be sure to equip the symbol of Avarice after defeating the boss for some bonus souls. You can pause now to avoid spoilers. For everyone else, Vordt of the Boreal Valley has an iconic theme song, but is relatively easy to overcome. He has large sweeping attacks that are clearly telegraphed, with large windows for us to get off charged heavy attacks. I recommend trying to stay near and behind him for best results. Vordt's most dangerous move is his icy charge attack, which he will start doing once his health bar is around halfway depleted. Once again, if you have the symbol of Avarice head armor, be sure to equip it after defeating Vordt to get some bonus souls. Also, like other major bosses, Vordt drops a unique soul when defeated. These souls can be identified by their item description, which will contain the words steeped in strength. We don't want to consume these special souls as they can be redeemed at that Ludolith NPC for unique boss items. We won't be able to do that until after we go through the Undead Settlement location though, so just hang on to the soul for now. After discovering the bonfire, we can go use our souls to level up at the Firekeeper, then fast travel back. Next, we'll move back out of the boss room and up the large staircase. Entering the cathedral at the top of the stairs, we will find another NPC named Emma. We can speak through all of her dialogue to get the small Lothric banner and Way of Blue Covenant item. Also, do not attack her, as doing so will cause a major sequence skip and mess up multiple quest lines. This next part is optional and is for the purposes of my playthrough build. Exiting the cathedral and going up the stairs to the right, we will find a special knight with a blue cloak and glowing red eyes. We can move slowly to sneak up behind it and get a backstab to initiate the fight. The first time this knight is defeated, we will get a refined gem. We can also defeat some of the other nearby knights to get more souls, and we will need a total of 2,650. With that, we can travel back to the Firelink shrine and speak with Blacksmith Andre. We can then pick the infused weapon option, select our Claymore, and choose the refined infusion. This will give the Claymore increased dexterity and strength scaling, which will help our build deal more damage as we invest more levels into those core stats. Starting from the Vordt of the Boreal Valley bonfire, we can move out the now open pair of enormous double doors. At the edge of the path, we will be prompted to raise banner. Doing so will transport us to the start of the Undead Settlement, where we can discover the foot of the High Wall bonfire. If you are having trouble or need any clarification on what was covered in this video, you can reach out to me in the comments where I will do my best to help. The Undead Settlement will be covered in part 2 of this series. You can find that over on my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day if you're here today, have a great Friday, and a great weekend, and as always, thanks for watching.